All right, welcome to Cat Simplified channel. Everybody, welcome, especially my grade 10s. I'm really happy to meet you today, and we are going to discuss our June paper question that I gave you. And it's the first time grade 10s you are going to write CAT examination. That is paper 1. Term 1, you did not write practical, and then you only also wrote theory test. So this time around, we are going to write an examination which comprises all the applications that we have used for term 1 and 2, and it will take about 2 hours. So it's 2-hour paper, like the example that I shared with you. And hopefully next week I'll also release example of theory exams paper so that we will discuss as well. Right, so let's start with the question paper that I gave you out of 100 marks for 2 hours. So we start with the first question, which is one school brochure. Now, I would like you to indicate in the chat whether you can hear my voice and then also see the screen. Right, so if you can see the screen and then also hear my voice, you must let me know, and then I will proceed. Right, so now the first question says, and then I will proceed. So, sorry for the interruption. I wanted to check from the comment section. Right, so someone said yes, so I'm going to start. It says place a 3 double-line page border on the first page only for 3 marks. Now, let's see how we will insert a 3 PT double-line border on the first page only. So we open our page. This is our first page. Now we want the border. How do we go to page border? Like I said, you can achieve that by using different ways. The first way of getting into border is to search for borders and shading. From the paragraph group, you will see this control here called the borders. So when you go there, you will see borders and shading. Or alternatively, you can click on search and type borders, the keyword. Is going to give you page border or borders and shading. Both will take you there. Or you can just go to the ruler, double click on the ruler's settings, and then you go to layout, you'll find borders. Then it will take you to borders and shading. So there are 3 ways. You choose the one that is easier for you to reach borders and shading. So we go here and choose borders and shading. And then they want page border, not a border. This border here, we use it for paragraphs. So we have this one, page border. That's what the question wants us to choose. And then we select the style. It says double line. So this is the double line. You select double line. You can also select the color. But this question didn't tell us to choose a color. Let's check the question again. They didn't tell us to choose any color. So if you wanted to choose the color, you just select the color from here. And then the width, they said 3 PT. So you select 3 PT. Now there are other colors, there are other ones, also the art. You can choose different art, but then this question wants only the line. And then they said around the page. They can also give you instances whereby you must apply it only on top and then the bottom. So you remove the side from here so that you can have the page border only top and bottom, or you can have page border only for the side. So watch out for such type of questions. But in our situation, we want to put around. So we want all the 4 corners. And then the question says apply to only the first page. So we click on this arrow and then we choose this section, first page only. This section, first page only. Now, if you want to put on all the sections except the first page, you choose this one. So here we want only the first page, and then we click OK. So we will have the page border only on the first page. The rest of the pages do not have page border. Now we go to the next question. Apply the title style to the heading, explore our new learning spaces, and change the font size to 16. Now, this is the heading. So you select the heading. Anytime you want to apply a style or you want to bold it, you need to select the heading. So first of all, you do select this heading, and then you see styles. So here the question says we need to select title style. Now there are different styles that the question can tell you to choose, but here the question is asking us to choose title style. And then we change the font to 16. So the font size, we get it from the font group from the home tab, and then we choose 16. So this is what the question wants us to do. We change the font size from 26 to 16, and then we change it to title style. Now the next question says, change the paragraph highlighted in green, starting with our school is dedicated, as follows. Justify the paragraph, set the margin, the hanging indent to 1.5 centimeters. So this is the paragraph. You do not have to select the entire paragraph. Whenever you are doing paragraph setting, just click inside the paragraph. And then, according to the question, we need to justify the paragraph. Now, from the paragraph group, you will see alignment. We have the left alignment, we have the center alignment, we also have the align right, and then the last one we have justify. So there are 4 types of alignment: left, center, right, and justify. Now the question says we should justify it, so you click on justify. Now the same question says, after we have justified, we must apply a hanging indent of 1.5 centimeters. Now I'm going to show you how to do hanging indent. Now from the ruler, if your laptop or your computer, you don't have the ruler, you can go to view and then you take ruler. Now, from the ruler, you click inside the paragraph. There's calibrations. And then you see these lines here. The first one here is left indent. And then also we have hanging indent at the bottom. The one below it, like a rectangle, is a left indent. The one on top of that rectangle, like a it's having 4 shape, which looks like triangle. That's the hanging indent. And then the one on top is the first line indent. And then the one on the right hand side here is called right indent. So when we talk about indent, it's like you are pushing in inside. You want to arrange the paragraph in such a way that you push it in to separate from the rest. So here we want the hanging indent, so we need this one. And then we take it to 1.5. Remember, it took us also the top one, which is the first line, so we must take it back to 0. We need only this one to be at 1.5 centimeters. So this is what we call the hanging indent. Now, if you were to do first line, it's only the top one. This is first line, 1.5. This is hanging indent, 1.5. So the first line, only the first line will be pushed inside, and then the hanging is only the first line will be at 0. The rest will be pushed inside. And that is what we call the hanging indent. And when both of them are moving, this one is left indent. This is hanging, and this one is first line indent. So know the difference between this indent, and this one is also right indent. So if I was to move this one, This right indent to 13 centimeters. So make it simple. Use the ruler setting to drag to arrange your indentation. Right. We move straight to the next question. It says apply a single line border around the paragraph. So this is the paragraph. We need to apply a single line border. Like I told you, border, you just go to the ruler again, double click, not below. And then go to layout, you see borders. Now we don't need paragraph or page border, we need paragraph border, which is borders. And then we choose only a single line and it should be around the paragraph. So you click on the side and then okay. Right, so take note, like I said, you can use the ruler settings to go there, or you can use search and type border and it will easily take you there. Right, now we move straight to the next question that says, insert a drop cap for the first letter of the paragraph, every decision. And then the drop cap should be as you see on the screen. Now you can see the drop cap is always the first letter. Now you can see that E is dropping among 3 lines. 1, 2, 3 lines. And then the font color should be green. And then the distance should be 0.5 centimeters. So where is that one? This is the one, every. You click inside it and then drop cap. You go to insert, or you can use search and say drop cap. So insert, you see drop cap. It's part of the text. Then you find drop cap and then you choose drop cap options. Now, like I said, you can also use search and type drop cap. It's going to give you add drop cap and then you choose drop cap options. Now here it says it should be dropped. We have 2 types of drop cap. We have dropped and then in margins. So in margin will be aligned to the margin and then the drop will be to the text. So we use the drop and then it should be 3 lines according to the question. And then the distance should be 0.5. Then click OK. So this is what we have. And we should change this font to green. So we change the font, only the E. We go to the font and we change it to green color. So we might change only that E that has been dropped to green color. Right. The next question says, apply light shading to the text of the paragraph starting with "We foster 21st century" and ending with "applying it meaningful." So we need to apply shading to that text. Here is it. So we have to shade this text. So you select it and then shading, like I said, it's part of the borders and shading. So you can just search for borders and shading, or you go to the paragraph group. This one is borders and shading, and then you choose borders and shading. Now this time we don't need borders, we don't need page border, but rather we need shading. And then we choose the color that we want to shade with. Let's check the question. It says, apply light shading. So they didn't specify a particular shading color. So we can use any light shading to fill. You can also shade with any pattern style. The question can tell you with a pattern color. So watch out for that. But here we only need light shading color. Right, so that is it. Now the next question says, change all the occurrences. Change all the occurrences of the word stem, and then you replace it with the same word stem, but it should be italic, and then the color should be red. Now, when you have this question, when you see all occurrences, is the same as find and replace. So it means that whenever you see stem, then you replace with the word stem, but it should be italic, and then the color should be red. You don't need to go through the question and then search for every stem and then you do that. No, That's the long process. There is a Microsoft Word feature called Find and Replace. Now, how do we do that? You first start by using Replace. You will find it under Editing Group, or you can also search and say Replace. Then it says find what? What word are we finding? Stem. And then we replace it with what? The same word, stem. But you click on where it says replace with. Then you go to more. And then we choose find the whole words only. What does this one mean? It means it should find the exact word stem, not stem with something. So you go to format and then you choose font, and the question says it should be bold and italic. So we see bold and italic here. No, it says it should only be italic and the color should be red. So only italic, and then the color, font color should be red color. They can tell you to choose underline style or change the font style or the font size. They can tell you to choose any of these. And then again, they can also ask you to choose any paragraph settings. So you go to format, you see paragraph, you see tabs. So watch out for some of these questions. They can tell you to highlight also. If they want you to highlight, you select this highlight. Now, after that, you click on replace all. So that it's going to replace all the word stem, and then we replace with the same stem, but then the font will be italic, and then the font color will be red. So I click on replace all. So I got 5 replacements. All the word stem will be in red font, and it will be italic. Right, we move to the next question. Change the content below the 2 green highlighted paragraphs, starting with a commitment to safe and engaging learning, to appear in 2 columns, each paragraph with a line between for 3 marks. So here, we are going to highlight the text, a commitment. Let's look for that text. Yeah, start from here. So we need to highlight this. And the question says we must place them in column. So when you say column, do not think about column in a table. No, this is different column. So we go to layout and then you choose columns, then more columns. And then we have 2, or you can change it here. Number of columns is 2 with a line between, you take here. Remember, they can also ask you to adjust the spacing. So they can give you a question whereby you must change the spacing as well. And then, okay. So it's very simple. The columns are 2 and they have been divided with a line. So this is what we call column with a line in between. Right, we move to the next question. Locate the text box at the end of the document with the words innovation at the best and change the font to Arial narrow, and then remove the text box around the text box border. So we have this text box and they say we might change the font to Arial narrow. So I select, I will get the font from group, and then the font should be Arial narrow. So you can type also. There we go. And then you press enter. So this is the font. Now we need to remove the border. How do we remove the border? When you click on the text box, it gives you another tab here called shape format. Now when you go to shape format, we go to the there's a one that says border. There's one with a border. Here is it. We call it text outline. Now when you go to text outline, you see no outline. No outline means no border. Now when you choose weight, it gives you a specific border around it. Let me select again. Shape text outline. And then when you pick a weight, it picks a weight. For now, it says no outline. Shape effect. Right, it says text outline. Sorry, it shouldn't be text outline. It should be the outline, the actual outline with the border, not the text outline. That one will be found. Is part of the fill is here. Shape outline. Sorry, it's not text outline. Text outline is the actual text. It should be shape outline. And then you choose no outline. Yes. So it should be shape outline, not text outline. When you click on it, shape format, and then you see shape outline. Then you choose no outline. Now, when I choose a weight, it will give me the border. Now, I don't want the border to be there. So I go to shape outline and I choose no outline so that there will not be border around it. So basically, that's how we remove borders from either a text box or any shape, or if you want to remove a border from a picture. We are going to look at some of the examples. Now we move straight to 1.9. Swap the pink paragraph starting with our learning space with the blue one. Now when it says swap, it's the same as change the position. Change their position. Now, how do we change their position? These are the two paragraphs. Now, I want to change the position. You can use cut and paste, or if there are only two, you can use sorting to change their position. Now, here, if I want to change their position, I can just select this, right click, cut, then I go to this position, I press enter to get a space, and then I right click and choose paste. So I have changed their position. Now, if I don't want to use that method, I can also change their position by using sorting. How do we achieve that? I will select both paragraphs. And then on the paragraph group, you will see sort A to Z. When you click on A to Z, then it says sort the text, whether ascending or descending. Now, you must check the word that starts on each paragraph. Here it starts with our, and here it starts with we. So now our and we, our comes before we. So meaning we have to change their position by choosing descending order. That means from Z to A, not A to Z. And then we click OK. So now it has changed their position. The first paragraph will be on top. The second paragraph will be below. So that is the easier way to swap paragraphs without changing the spaces or anything. We use the sorting part to change it so that you don't change any space or anything. Right. Now the next question. Insert page numbers in the document as follows. Your page numbers should be in the header of the document. Make use of triangle style. And then the first page should not be numbered. Now, here, I'm going to correct it. The triangle style is only at the bottom, not in the header section. So please take note. There was a mistake in this part. The triangle, I will show you. When you go to the header, how do we insert page number at the header? You double click at the header section. When you talk about the header, is the top of the document. Footer is the bottom of the document or the page. So if I double click on the top, it opens the header section for me. Now I can go to the bottom. This is the footer section. Now, the reason why I said the page numbers, when you go to page numbers, as soon as you double click on the top, header and footer, you will see page numbers. We can also insert date and time. We can also insert the author name, the name of the file, the document title. So you can insert document title and we type it here, or we can also insert date and time, the current date. We can insert so many fields in the header or the footer. Now this question is talking about the page numbers. So when you go to page numbers on the top, There's different page number style, but we don't have triangular one there. It's only rectangular, rounded one, and then circular one, very large, and others. But if I go to the bottom, at the footer, there I can see triangular page number. Here is it. So the triangular page number is only at the footer, but not the header. So that's the correction we are going to make. So now let me do it at the bottom, or maybe still at the top. But then I will choose different style. Let me choose different style. Now, as soon as you insert it, the question says, the first page should not be numbered. So as soon as you insert it, the first page is also numbered. Now we don't need the first page. So what we need to do is we click on different first page. Different first page. When you tick here, it's going to remove the first page numbers. So that's how we insert page numbers and make sure that we don't number the first page. You insert the page number and then you say different first page number. Now, this header, I can place it in different areas. I can take it to, when I go to home, I can take it to the left side. You can take it different direction, different places, whether you want to put it to the left or the right. So you do that by using the alignment section. So, but this question only wanted us to insert page numbers. I only use it to explain it further so that in case you get that type of question, whereby it asks you to put it in the middle or to the right-hand side. Right, now the next question. It says insert the file name as the field in the footer of the document and it should be centered. Now we go to the footer of the document, you double click, and then the question says we must insert the file name. So we go to document info and then you'll find file name. So the file name will be there. And the question says should be in the middle. You select it, you go to home, and then you click on center alignment. So the file name will now be at the center of the page. Now you can also take it to the right-hand side or to the left-hand side. So this is how we insert field to different position. Right, we move to the next question, which is question 2. So we are done with question 1, which is 28 marks, talking about the page setup. Remember, they can also ask you to change the margin. So we will look at that type of question whereby they will ask you to change a margin. So the margins also, you double click in the ruler, you see margins, you can change the margin, orientation. You can also change the paper size to A4 or any paper size based on what the question wants. You can also change the layout. So take note of that. Just double click in the middle and it opens for you. So grade 10, these are the basic things that you must know before you start your examination. Right, now we move straight to page question number 2. We move straight to question 2, which is 2 renewable. Now the first question says, change the orientation to portrait. Now the orientation is in landscape, so we need to change it to portrait. How do we change that? We can just double click in the ruler and then margins, you see orientation. Now orientation, we see landscape, we just change it to portrait and then we click OK. So that's how we change different orientation. You can also do that by going to layout and then you see orientation. Then you choose portrait. The next question says, set all the margins of the document to 2 centimeters. Again, we double click. The margins will change to 2 centimeters. You just select the number, you type 2, or you can use the arrow to take everything to 2 centimeters. Right. And then remember, there is also a gutter margin and a gutter position. They can tell you to also change it. Then we click OK. The next question says, format the main heading as follows. Change the heading to uppercase and apply a word art. This is the heading. So we select it, and the question says we must change it to uppercase. Now, how do you get the uppercase? Uppercase from the font group. You see capital A, small a. This is called the change case. Now, when you click there, you see uppercase. We see capitalize each word and others. So we change it to be capital letters. And then we change this one to word art. Now, how do we get the word art? We go to insert, and then we will find word art. Then you choose any word art. Or you can get there by going to search, then you say word art. You see insert word art, and then you can choose the one that you want. Please, this is how we use word art, or we use Microsoft Word. Make it easier for you whenever you are solving questions. Microsoft Word is always easy. Collectible marks, make sure you get more marks there, please. Now, after getting the word art, the question says again that we should apply any transform style to the word art. So we are going to apply any transform style. Yeah, somebody said I must check my network. Please, I think I can see the video here also. So check yours as well. My network is excellent now, but then I will check again. Right. Now, this question says you must apply any transform style, and then we'll fill it with the red color. So how do we get a transform style? When you click on the word art, it's also going to give you shape format, just like the text box or also pictures. You always see shape format. Now, when you go to the shape format, please check for me if the network is fine. If you can see my screen. All right, thank you very much. Now let me proceed. So when you select it, word art, it has like any shape. We have the shape fill. Now the question says we must shape fill it with the red color. So we go to shape fill, and then we choose red color. Then again, it says we must change the font to Aharoni. So we go to home, and then you see the font. You type the font name. Then we go back to shape format, and then you are going to change the transform. You get a transform from word art style, and then you will see this one called text effect. Then you'll find transform. Watch out for AD rotation, bevel, and others, and shadow. So they can ask you to change any of these, and each of them has a particular name. You can get a question whereby it will ask you to change the name. Right, so now here we are going to only focus on transform, and the question says we must choose any transform. And each transform style also has a name. Wave down, it also has wave up, and the rest. So here I'm going to choose any of them. There we go. So you can choose any transform style. Right, so that's all about this question for 5 marks. 5 marks. Right, now we go to text watermark. Insert a text watermark that reads renewable energy as follows. The text should be renewable energy, and then the font should be Algerian with a size of 72. Now, how do we insert watermark? When we talk about watermark, is a background picture or text. Right, so we go to insert. Oh no, watermark you get from design, design, and then you see watermark. Again, design, you can find page color. You can change the color of your page from design. You can also set the page border from design. Now here we want watermark, and then we choose custom watermark. Now they can also ask you to choose a picture watermark. Let's say the question wants you to put a picture as a watermark. You select picture watermark and then you select your picture. Right. Now here it says text watermark. So we take text watermark, and then the text should be renewable energy. And then the font should be Algerian. You can choose the font from here, or you type. And then the size should be 72. Check if there's no 72, you type the number here. So here there's 72. They can also ask you to choose the color of the text, and then they can ask you whether it should be the layout should be diagonal or horizontal. Now, according to the question, they said the layout should be diagonal, and then the color should be green. Then you click on apply before OK. So here is it. Renewable energy at the background, and then the color is green, and then the font is Algerian, and to be there on all the pages. Right. So basically, this is how we insert a watermark. Now the next one says change the numbered list below the heading benefits of renewable energy as that. Now note, use a to-love image. Here they change it from the numbering to an image or bullet as an image. So let's go and look for our list. Here is it. So you select the list, and then from home, you will see bullet. And then you go to define new bullet. Then define new bullet, we can use a symbol as a bullet, or we can use a picture as a bullet. So take note, and we can also set the bullet alignment, whether center, right, or left. Now, here the question wants us to choose a picture. So you select your picture, and then you select from file. You go and look for your file. So to love, and then that picture will be here. Right, then you click OK. So there will be a picture bullet. Now, if they want you to put a certain position, you select the bullet, you right click and choose what we call adjust list indent. Now, when you go to adjust list indent, then you will find the text indent. They can ask you to change the indent position and then the alignment. So here, let's say I want the indent position to be 2 centimeters and the alignment to be 1 centimeter. Then you click OK. So that will be the space in between the bullet and then the text. So they can give you a question like that to change this as well. So watch out for such type of questions. Right. Now we move to 2.7. That is talking about table, how to deal with table. Now they gave you a raw table. Now this table, they have done shading here, both top and then the left. And then there was a calculation also there. So you have to follow note. If you don't know how to approach them, note to learners, go through them one by one. Now the first one, it says insert a new row above the first row and a new column on the left. That's the first instruction. So this is the table. A new row above the first row. This is the first row. You click on the first row. Now, anytime you select a table, it's going to give you table design and table layout. If I don't select the table, there's no table design and table layout. So here you click on the first row, it gives you table design and then table layout. So I go to table layout. You will see insert rows below. If you want another row to be below this one, like this, right? And then you will see insert row above. Now, the question wants us to insert a column to this one on the left of this one. So I click on the first column, then you see column to the left. So that I have another column here. The next instruction, format the height of the first row to 2.5 centimeters. So this is the first row. You click anywhere inside the first row, and then from the table layout, you will see the height and then the width. So now the height should be changed to 2.5 centimeters. So you can use the up arrow or just type 2.5, delete what is there and say 2.5. Now, if you're using point exclusive 2.5, depending on your measurement, whether comma or point. Right. And then again, the question wants us to shade the heading row as well as the first column to a light orange. So we must shade this one. How do we shade it? You select, and then from the table design, you see shading. Please do not use the shading at home. Use the table design, then you find shading, and then you choose light gray color or orange color. And then you do the same for the column. You select the first column, the same shading. Then the next one says, turn the text on the left-hand side to vertical, and then as it displays an example. Now you see capacity per country must be on the column. So what do you do? But the column was merged. So we select the first column, and then you go to table layout, you see merge cells. Merge cells means combine them together. So you click on merge cells so that they are together, and then they also merge the first row. Good. So they merge this first row, and then this one. I think they merge the row first, and then they merge this column. Right. And then after that, they took this energy production data, you copy it, and then you put it inside the first row. You right click and say paste. And then again, from the table, we have capacity per country, this side. So you type it. Right. Now, when you have capacity per country, look at the direction. How do they change the direction? You click there, you go to table layout. Please, table layout we use for different layout, how you want it to be. Now, we see text direction. So you go to text direction, and then you click on it. It changes for you. Check whether it's the right one. No. So you click on it again. Yes, that's the right one. But then it was in the middle. So we have to select and choose the middle alignment. On the alignment next to text direction or before text direction, you'll see this one, the one in the middle that says align center, so that your information will be at the center. Right. It says center the text in column 2. The column to horizontal and vertical. Yes. Add the text capacity per country in the first merge. Now, so here we must center this also as well in the middle. Then add a new row and set the calculation for total capacity. So you see a new row was added here that says total capacity. So we need to add it. We click there and then we go to row below. And then total capacity has been combined. They combine the first, second, and third one. So you combine this one, these three, and say merge cells. Then we type total capacity. Right. Then you can see calculations here. 8,880. That means the total. Now, how do you do the calculation? You click under the capacity, and then you from the table layout, you will see formula and then convert to text. Now here we are looking for a formula. So you click there, and then you see sum above. Then you click OK. To sum everything above here, we can have sum below or some on the left, or some on the right. So whenever you are doing calculations in a table, we use the table layout, and then you click on the formula fx, then you can choose the function that you want to use. Now we can even use average or any function. Let's say we want average above, we just delete sum and then we say average above. So it's going to calculate average for us, right? So that's all. Now watch out for some of the questions, like they can ask you to center it vertically and horizontally, the content. So you can center the content also like this. And then they can also ask you to center the table in the middle. So you click on the selection tool of the table, this side. Then you go to table layout. You'll find properties. Then you'll see here center. You click on center so that your table will be centered for you. Okay, so now we have center, or the table has been centered for us. Now the last part that says ensure that the table fits over the content of the table. Now how do we do that? When you select the table, and then from table layout, you will see auto fit. So you choose auto fit to content. We also have auto fit to window to cover the entire window. And then we have fixed column width. So basically that's how we use to auto fit our content. Now this is all about the table. The last question, add the picture towards to the bottom of the document and then resize the picture of the height 7 centimeters and 8 centimeters wide. Now we want to insert a picture here. So we go to insert, then we see picture from this device, and then you double click on towards. So this is the picture that we want. Now when you click on the picture, again it gives you picture format, just like the shape format. Here it gives us picture format. Then you see the size. Click on the arrow next to the size. And we want to change the size to exactly 7 centimeters by 8 centimeters. Now look at this. When I change the height to 7 centimeters, automatically changes the width. So now I need to do something before I can get the exact size. I have to untick this one that says log aspect ratio. So if you want to get the exact size, you must remove this log aspect ratio. Then I can now change this one to 8 centimeters as well. So I have 7 here and then I have 8. If you don't remove this log aspect ratio, it's not going to give you the right answer. We can also set the size by using the scale. They can give you a scale as well to change the scale height and then the scale width as well. Good. So this is the one that the question wants us to choose. Again, they can ask you to move the picture. Like now I want to move the picture. I can't move the picture. All because the picture layout here, layout options, must be set to either wrapping square or text wrapping tight. If you want it to be behind the text, you choose this one. So if I choose square, I can now move the picture around. There's a situation whereby you can get a question that wants you to move the picture around a paragraph. You have to choose square so that you can move it. Right. That is all about question 2 for 4 marks. Now they said the picture should be centered. Let's center our picture. So when you click on the picture again, we want the picture position or the alignment of the picture. So you see the picture properties. You can go to format picture and then you can change it there. Or again, the position. If you want to be the wrapping to be centered in the middle, position in the middle, you can do that. Let me undo that. Right, so this picture, you can take it to the middle. Let me cut it to the last page. Right. So now here, you can take it to the middle. Position it to the middle. Or this one, so that it takes you there. Now, there are other ways that you can also do regarding pictures. We can also rotate the picture. Now, when you see the picture format, you see rotation. You can rotate the picture to flip vertical. The original picture, look at the original picture. It was like this. Now I can flip the picture to horizontal. Now you see this watch type here was here. Now it was that side. You can get a question and then they give you a screenshot. They flip it. Watch out for that. Flip horizontal, flip vertical, rotate 90 degrees or rotate to the other angle. So they can give you a scenario or a screenshot and then they will tell you to do that. So still under the picture format, that's the rotation. We can also crop the picture to a shape. We can crop it to a shape, let's say to the love shape, or we can crop it to another shape. So you can crop it to different shapes. So we get it under picture format. So we have position, we have the text wrapping as well. And then the alternative text. Watch out for that. Alternative text is the message that we can type to describe the picture. So this is smartwatch as an alternative text. Right. And then again, still about the picture format, we can also put a picture border with a weight. We can put a weight as our picture border with a color. So we can put a border with a weight on the picture by going to picture format. Then we have picture effect, like rotation and others, shadow. And then we also have picture layout, different layout. If you want to put process and other things and type the text next to it. So you can put a layout also. So basically, this is all about picture. We have the picture styles also. And then we have the color. You can recolor it. This is not the original color. So we can recolor by using any of the color tone or color saturation or recolor them. Then we also have artistic effect and then transparency. If you want the color, the picture was colored picture, but now we want it to be black and white, we can do that also. And we can correct it in different. Now, the last part is to remove the background. Let's say you want to remove the background. So you click there and then you choose this one so that to remove the background of the picture, the background image. That's how we deal with picture formatting. So take note of picture formatting. All these, you can get questions on that. Please take note of that. Right. That is all about question 2. Now we move straight to our question 3, which is also talking about different shapes and infograph. So question 3. The first question is talking about we should insert a star shape and then we must color it to be green and type green energy heroes with different font. So here is it. How do we insert a shape? So we go to insert shape and then we choose any star shape. You scroll down, you see all the star shapes and then you draw it. Let's check whether it's that star. No, this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's check what I have here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's not the right one. So insert shapes, it should have 5 stars. This is the one. Now, we must fill in with a green color. So when you select, it will give you shape format and then shape fill, we choose green color. Then again, the picture has the shape outline with a red. So we go to shape outline red color. Again, the picture, there's a text inside it. That's a green energy heroes. We type inside. How do we enter a text inside a shape? You right click and say add text so that we can type the text green energy heroes. Now, the color is black, so we have to change the font color to black. We go to the font color and then we change it to black. The instruction also says we must use the font called Berlin Sans. That's the font. We go to the font and type the right font. And then also change the shape fill to a light green and then the outline to red. So basically, this is what the question wanted us to do. Now, let's check what we can do again regarding shape. We can change the direction to rotate the content or the flipping side. You can flip vertical or horizontal. You can do that. Now, again, for the shape, we can also create what we call the link. Let's say we have another link here. We can create a link. Let me draw another want to draw another text box here. So we can create a link to link this shape with this one, text box. So when you select this one from shape format, you see create link. Then you come and click on this one. So here, because the content are just two, if it was a text, it will link these two because it's only one object. So I want to show you there's a link between this one and that one. Now, if you don't want the link, you just break that link. When I click here, then I remove the link by clicking on break link. Right, I will show you an example again. Let's say I have this text box, and then I also have another text box. And then I have some sentences inside it. Let me copy some sentences and put them inside. Right, I have this paragraph here. Some are hidden. Now, I want to create a link with these two. So when you click on this, go to shape format, you see create link. Now to give it this tool, and then you come and click on this one. Right. So now you can see that some of the text inside this text box is also here. Now, if I increase the size, it affects this text box as well. If I decrease it, the rest of the text will be in this text box. So that's called inserting a text box and creating a link so that they become one text box. Whatever that is in here, other parts will be in the other text box, and that is called a linking. So take note of that, please. Right, we move to question 3.2, smart art. Now, they say we must create this shape. The name of the smart art is continuous block process. So let's do that on the next page. So we go to insert, then you see smart art. Now we go to process. There are different smart arts here. We have the circle, we have the hierarchy, relationship, metrics, pyramid, picture, and the rest. Now the question says we must choose a process, and it should be continuous process. Each process has a name. So this is continuous process. We click on it and then okay. Now, They type this text, energy capture. That's the first one. So we type energy capture. We go to the second one, convert to electricity. And then the third one, distribute to grid. No, I distribute. Right. So there are only three. We can add more. We can add more. How do we add more? Let's say we want to add another one here. Just right click and say add shape before or after. Can add more. If let's say there are more that you need to add, you can add it here. Right. Now, after this, according to the question, the next instruction, it says change the smart art color scheme to colorful. So we might change it to colorful. Now, when you click on it, it's going to give you smart art design and then format. Now, the formatting is the shape, effect, and shape outline. If you want to change the outline of different shape, the borders. Right. Then you go to smart art design. You go to change colors and then we choose colorful. The question wants us to choose the colorful one. And then apply a 3D style. Now, when you select it, how do you go to 3D style? You go to format. Now we want to shape design. Now we want a 3D style. Sorry, I must select the shape. There are different layouts. Also, I want to show you how you can change different layouts. And then the colors, different colorful ones. Then the format 3D style. So here, when you select the shape, then you go to the style, that should be 3D. Shape effect. Let's choose any 3D. All right, 3D rotation here. And then we have the outline and then also the text effect. We also have 3D rotation if we want to change the different text effect with the bevel and others. We also have the preset and then the text fill as well. We can change all this. Then the word art style, if you want to change to any word art with different styles, we can do that. Then the shape outline and then the shape fill. You can get all of them from the shape design, and then you can also get it from the format. Right. Now, when you are done with all this, you can also check from the question that it was rotated to the other side. So you say check the rotation. How do we rotate? It was this arrow that was rotated. So you click there and then you rotate the arrow. Let me do the rotation before I apply the 3D. When you click on it, you will see the rotation angle and then you change it. Right. So this is the rotation angle. To rotate it to different angle, you can rotate it up or to that angle. Right. So after that, then we can apply our 3D rotation. Right. So basically, this is what the question wanted from the picture. This is what the question wanted us to do. And then we change the direction as well. Right. Now let's move straight to the next question that talks about spreadsheet. Oh no, the same question, there's a hyperlink. Sorry, let me go back to that question. There's a last question there about hyperlink, that we must insert hyperlink to ESCOM, and then it should take us to ESCOM website, and then the text ESCOM must display when the mouse hovers on it. Now, when you select the word and you want to create a hyperlink, you right click and you find link. So first of all, you select it and then you right click, then you find link. Now, we can link it to a bookmark. We can link it to any place of the document, like the headings, and then we can also link it to any document. But now this question says we must link it to a website. So we type the website here inside the address, and then say escom.co.za. Now, how do we type ESCOM so that when we put the mouse pointer on it, it displays the word ESCOM? We go to screen tip, and then you click on screen tip, then you can type ESCOM. So if I put a mouse pointer on this link, it shows ESCOM. So that is how we insert a hyperlink. Now we are moving straight to what we call the most challenging topic for our grade 10s, which is spreadsheet. So I'm going to just go through it and then make it easier for everyone. Right. So this is our spreadsheet. Remember, June examination, it will be only Microsoft Word and spreadsheet. There's no database for grade 11, grade 10, and there is no HTML. HTML will start in term 3 or term 4, and PowerPoint also. So term 1 and 2 will only be Microsoft Word and spreadsheet. So you need to practice more. Right. Now the first question says we should ensure that all the content in the column A to H are fully visible. Now, when you see the keyword fully visible, you see some of them are not visible. You see hashtag here. Hashtag meaning that the column is too narrow. You need to widen it. You see, if I widen, then I see the date in full. Now, how do we ensure that everything is fully visible? You can do that manually by dragging the columns and then the rows, or alternatively, you can select all of them and then you apply what you call rep text. So you get the rep text from the alignment, then you see rep text. So the rep text will make everything visible, the text, but now still, this one is not showing, so you must adjust it. Right, the next question. Change the worksheet tab color to any color of your choice. So this is the sheet called cost. To change the color, you right click and then you see tab color. We choose any color of our choice to change the color. Now, and hide any hidden rows and columns. Now check whether there's any row or column hidden. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. There's no column hidden. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's no row also hidden. So now let me show you how a column can be hidden. If you want to hide a column, you right click on the column name and then you see hide. Now you can see between C, there's no D. That means it's hidden. So to unhide, you can just click there in between and double click. Or alternatively, you can select C and E, then you right click and say unhide. So that's how we do to hide and unhide a column or a width, a column or a row. Now, the next question says, use a spreadsheet feature to ensure that the contents in row 1 and 2 will remain on the screen if you scroll down. Now, row 1 and row 2 should remain on the screen. The rest should be diminishing when you scroll down. Now, in order to ensure that we have to apply a spreadsheet feature called freeze panes. Now, freeze panes allow us to lock certain rows or columns. Now we want to lock row 1 and row 2. So we move to the next row, which is row 3, and select it. Please do not select 1, 2, 3. No. Select the next row, which is 3. And then you go to view, you will find freeze panes. And then you click on the first one. Do not click on the top row, because if you click on the top row, only row 1 will be freeze. And then if you click on the first column, only the first column will be frozen. So here we choose the first one, so that when I scroll down, row 1 and 2 will always remain on top. This is how the freeze pane works. Right. The next question says merge cell A1 to H1. This is A1. I select up to H1. And then merge, you get it from the home tab. Below the rep text, you call it merge cells. Or you can just also search it if you don't know where to find it. You go to search and then say merge and center. Right. The next question. Change the font to Calibri, the size to 18, and apply bold and italic. So whatever that you have merged, you click there. The font should be Calibri. And then the size of the font should be 18. You click on this one to change the size to 18. And then also bold, italic. So you see B and I. Then format the date in column A to display as 03 May 2025. Now, this is column A. We want to change this date. So you click on all the dates in column A and select them. Now, how do we change the format? You go to the number format. There's an arrow under the number format. Click there, and then you choose custom. Then where it says type, delete everything and type that format. Now look at this. It says 03. 03, that means the day was written as a number. So you put 2D. DD will give you a day, followed by the space. May was written in full, so I type 4M. If you want the month to be written in full, you type 4M. Then space, the year should also be written in full. I type 4Y. They can give you different format, then you change it. Right. So this is the way they want it to be. Now, the next question. Format the headings in row 2 as change the text direction to rotate up and fill in with the light blue color. So that this is row 2. You select row 2, and then it says we must change the text direction to rotate up. How do we change that orientation? From the alignment group, you will see AB. That's the orientation. You click there and choose rotate up. So if you don't see the text properly, you can drag down to see them properly here. Right. And then we should fill in with a blue color. So row 2. How do we fill also? You go to the alignment group, you can get it. And then from the alignment group, it gives you format cells that has number, alignment, font, border, fill, and protection. Right. Or alternatively, you can get there by right-clicking on whatever you have selected, and then you see format cells. Then we go to fill. Now it says you must fill in with light blue color. So you choose light blue color and then OK. Center both vertically and horizontally. Now this is what we call vertically and horizontally. Under the alignment, you will see first one says center, and the one on top is the vertical alignment. You click on it so that it will be centered vertically and horizontally. If you don't know where to find it, again, right click, go to format cells, alignment, then you see vertical and horizontal. And then also insert a column before column A and use a spreadsheet feature to number from 1 to 10. Now this is column A. So we want to insert another column to the left of this column. You right click on letter A, then you see insert. It's going to create another column for you. Now we are going to number them 1, 2, 3. So you type 1, click on it, whatever that you have typed there, that is 1. Put a mouse pointer there and double click. It's going to give you 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 to number like that. Now, but we want 1, 2, 3, 4, not only 1. So you see what we call the autofill option. You click there and choose fill series. It's going to number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 10. Now here up to 10, we don't need 11 and 12, so we delete them. The next question. Format the cost per item column. Display it as South African rand with no decimal place. So cost per item. Remember, now it is no longer in column E, it is in column F because we have inserted another column. So you select the cost per item here. And then go to the number settings, you click there. Then you choose currency, rand with 2 decimal place. They can tell you to change it to dollars or any symbol. There we go. And then the next question. In F3, calculate the total cost. And they have given you a formula that's the total cost, which is quantity times cost per item. Now, I want to share something with you, my great friends, regarding the calculations. Now, the arithmetic operators, plus, this is for plus, addition. As we all know, this one is for minus. So addition, we use plus, and then minus, and then we also have star, which is for multiplication, and then we have forward slash, which is division. Then we also have shift and 6, which is raised to the power. Exponent. So these are the arithmetic operators you must watch out for when you are doing simple calculations. Now, we also have some inbuilt formulas called function. Now, we have different functions. Every formula must begin with equal sign. So if you want to add the content in cell A1 with the content in cell A2, you say equal sign A1 plus A2. That is to add the content of cell A1 with A2. Right. And then we also have like equal sign A1 times A2. That means multiplication to multiply, or A1 divided by A2. So basically every formula or every function, we begin with equal sign, or A1 raised to the power 2. Whatever that is in A1 will be raised to the power 2. So this is how we do a formula in spreadsheet or calculations. Every formula must begin with equal sign. Now, we have some inbuilt formula. In other words, those formulas are already there in spreadsheet. And the inbuilt formulas, we call them functions. So you must know different functions. The function for adding, we call it sum. Sum is for adding. Right. So example, equal sign, sum into bracket A1 up to A10. So what does that mean? From A1, we use the column as a range. So from A1 to A10, we are going to add all of them. So this one will add content from A1 to A10. So we use the sum function for addition. And then we also have a function that you must know called counter. Counter is to count non-empty or non-empty values. So to find the number, the total number of non-empty cells. And then we also have count. Count only find the total number of numerical values. So the total number of numerical values. Here, any number, whether it's numbers, so counter, it will count whether it's numbers that are type or text. But then the count only deals with numbers. And then we must also know max to find the maximum value. And then we also have min to find a smaller value. We also have count blank to count empty spaces. We use count blank. And then we have count if. We also have other functions like average to find mean. So when you know it, you'll be able to do most of the questions. You'll be able to do most of the questions. Now let's start with our calculations here. The first question says, in cell F3, calculate the total cost. And they have given the formula. They say the total cost will be the quantity times the cost per item. So here is it. We are going to calculate the quantity times the cost per item. So because it's a formula, we start by putting equal sign. And then you click on the value for the quantity on the same row. Then you say times. You click on the cost per item. Please do not type the values like 100 times 3,5. No. Click on the cells. So what does that mean? If I change this value to, let's say, 50, it will automatically adjust it. So that's how we use the cell to do our calculations. Now, you don't have to do it one by one. Use the autofill. When you click on your answer, from the formula bar, you see the functions there or the formula there. Then you put the mouse pointer like you want to autofill. You put the mouse pointer there. And if you see the fill handle, this is called the fill handle, you double click. It's going to do calculation for you automatically. Right. Now it says we must calculate the VAT of the total cost. Now the VAT is 15%. So how do we do that? You say equal sign, click on the total cost value times 15%. You press enter. So to calculate the VAT, it will be equal sign, this G3 times 15%. And that will give you the VAT value. Alternatively, we could have just equal sign. 15% is 15 over 100 times the VAT, and then press enter. You'll get the same answer. In spreadsheet, when it's percentage, you can just put a percentage there to convert automatically for you. Now, the next question is talking about the VAT inclusive. You know, when you have the total cost and you have the VAT amount, we add the two to get the total VAT inclusive. So it will be equal sign, click on your total cost, plus the VAT amount. Enter. So this will be our total cost. Right. So basically, this is how you do to solve those questions without even checking my questions. I have solved 4.11 and then the total cost including VAT. Now 4.13, in H13 yellow highlighted, generate or calculate the grand total including VAT. When we talk about grand total, we are adding all of them. Here was highlighted yellow and that side also. So they want us to get our grand total here. Now the grand total meaning we want to add all the totals here for everyone. Now because we are adding, we have to use what we call sum function. So it's an equal sign, sum. Now as you start typing the sum, it's going to give you the function that begin with SU. So you see sum, double click on the FX or the function name, and then go to the formula bar. You'll find the FX, click on it as well. Then you get a dialog box for the sum function. Anytime you are dealing with the function, please use this approach. It's easier to reach your destination. Now, it says number one. Number one meaning that you select the range, all the values under the total inclusive VAT. So you select them and then you click OK. So this is the total. Right. The next question says, calculate the total number of suppliers. You see the two different things. This is the total. When you see total, meaning that sum, if you see total plus number, it is count. So we take note. So the total number of suppliers, we use count or counter. So here, let's use counter. Now you see count A. Double click. And then the suppliers' names. You select them. Then you press enter. So the total number is 10. Forget about the currency. The question didn't say that if you get currency, just leave it as it is. Right, because there's no formatting. The question didn't tell you to format it. It's just 2 marks. Now, D13. Calculate the maximum quantity supplied. Here is it. Maximum quantity supplied. Please take note, it's no longer D13. It is E13 because we have added a new column. So now, how do we calculate the maximum? We use the function called max, equal sign, max. Click on FX. Don't forget to highlight the quantities. And then you click OK. Right, so the maximum is 500. So if the question wants the minimum, we use min. Equal sign min. Double click on FX. Click on FX again, and then you select the values. So this is the minimum value, which is 10. Now, again, if the question wants average, equal sign, average, double click on FX. If you want the average total cost, you select them and then press enter. So this is the average amount. So basically how to use average, how to use max, min, sum, and then counter. Now take note again. Let's say we want to count blank spaces. There are suppliers who did not give their names. So we want to use count blank. So you say equal sign, count blank. Count blank means count empty spaces. You click on FX and then you select all the item descriptions and OK. So we got 2 because there are 2 empty spaces. So count blank, count empty spaces. Now, another function that you must also know is that you have to also know random numbers. to generate random numbers. Now let's say we want to generate random numbers between 0 and 1. We use ren equal sign ren, and then you close the bracket. It's going to give you random numbers between 0 and 1. It changes automatically. You can see if I double click, the numbers keeps on changing. But if you want random numbers between two different numbers, let's say you want random number between 1 and 10, we use what we call rand between. Then you click on FX. The bottom is 1, the top is 10. The bottom is the lowest value, and then the top is the highest value. Then you click OK. So here it gives us 7. If I double click and press enter, it changes to 2. So it changes automatically because it is random number. And we use the function called rand between. So you must know these basic functions: sum, count, counter, min, max, count blank, rand, or rand between for our grade 10. Other functions will also continue from next term. So take note. Now the next question, add a border around A1 to H14. We must add a border around A1 up until H14. So in this case, I14. So you select border. Like I said, you can go to alignment or you can search border. Or you can go to borders and shading, and also you pick it. More borders. But here, I'm going to use the alignment. You go to alignment group, and then you see borders or border. Then you can choose any border. Let's check the question. They didn't specify the border. Choose any border, and then the border color. Then if you want outline, we have the inner and outline, just like the table. Then I can choose another line with different color, but this time inside border. So just like the table, the question can tell you to place the border, what type of color as well. So we have the outline, that is the outside, if you click outside, and then the inside border. So that is all about spreadsheet. If you have any question, you can put it in the comment section. All these questions and then the memo has been shared, and then I'll put it also under this video. The video is recorded. You can watch it again, and then also the memo is there. I wish you all the best. Next week, I'm going to focus on theory for grade 10 up until grade 12, whereby I'll give you questions also, and then the theory question to prepare yourself for theory examination. Thank you for your precious time. Good night.